Apparently, when Kentucky passed a law that presumptively established 50-50 custody, the divorce rates dropped by some 20 to 25%. But that's a great example of the data telling only part of a story. The fact that marriages aren't ending doesn't mean that marriages are happier or healthier or better off for not having ended, right? We just know what would happen if they did end. And after spending 15 years counseling women through divorce and custody cases, I can tell you that in very, very many cases, the women are willing to stay for the benefit of the children. They do stay for the benefit of the children a lot of the times. And that doesn't mean that the marriage is any better off for it. In fact, the marriage could be worse, because trapping unhappy people in a toxic relationship dynamic is not exactly a recipe for success. So I think it's a mistake to assume that just because marriages don't end, or because someone had a long marriage, that marriage is a success, or even that it was for the better of either the spouses or the children involved. In fact, quite often I think the opposite. And that doesn't mean that legislation can't make families better, but mandatory 50-50 custody is not the way to do it. That's more like a threat than a promise, right? If you were to ask me, on a legislative level, what could we do to improve things for families? I would say probably start with more paid parental leave, maternity and paternity leave, because studies have shown what a positive impact, especially paternity leave, can have on relationships and families. When you add children to the dynamic, things change dramatically. And when women are staying home, when women get maternity leave and dads don't get paternity leave, the care gap grows, and it creates an uneven balance of power that makes people unhappy, right? It creates an already not 50-50 dynamic within the family. And if you want more parental involvement, if you want happier marriages, more securely attached children, you have to invest in the marriages, not threaten people with what's going to happen once they leave them.